Everyone, welcome to another episode of Live with NORML. I'm J.M. Padini, the Development Director for the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. It's Friday, April 19th, 2024. You know what that means, friends? It's time for me to answer all of your burning questions live. We're going to talk about all the cannabis policy and science news for the week. Take a quick second, wherever you're watching, hit that like, follow, and subscribe button so you never miss when NORML goes live. Thanks to everyone who's joining us on Instagram. Hey, let me know where you're watching from. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Sherry. Good to see you, friend. Tom, I can't. Hey, Samuel, good to see you in North Carolina. Hey, Fred. Good to see you back as well. Good morning, Tito, watching on Instagram from New Zealand. I love it. Hi, Northeast Ohio on Instagram. Hey, Lance. What's up, friend? Nice to see you. Out in St. Joseph, Missouri. Hey, Silent Type in Colorado Springs, and Nick from Quakertown, Pennsylvania. I love it. All right, so as everyone has already thanks, Tom. The words were going to come out of my mouth, and then I wanted to read what you said. That didn't work out for me, did it? All right. Before I even start talking about things, hey, let's all read Tom's note. Tom says, on a serious note, I might be interested in this Virginia-related one that Marijuana Moment just published. I might, and I feel like I saw this earlier, Tom, and then I didn't read it because, work. I'm going to read it, though, and this is now going to be an integral part of today's show, because I want to read it. I wish I could copy that link from this comment, but I can't. Can you just, text it to me? Make it easy for me? Then I have to open that. Whatever. Please do that. Please just text me that link, Tom. Oh, never mind. I found it. All right. I love this. I love that in a statement tied to the 420 holiday and shared exclusively with Marijuana Moment on Friday, the Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee, that's the DLCC, which focuses on electing Democrats to state legislators, said Youngkin continues to hold Virginia back and block the progress made by Democrats in control of the legislature. I agree, but Democrats also need to make better choices when it comes to legislation. Just like you have to build consensus on literally every other bill in the General Assembly in order to pass it. It's how legislating works. You have to do that with cannabis also. And this whole notion that we don't write bills the governor will sign, I think you do. I think you really do write bills so that you can get them passed. I think you also have to meet with the administration when they say, hey, we'd like to maybe talk about doing something a little differently. I think you have to take those meetings. So I am super stoked that DLCC said this. And I think that their, let's be blunt, pun is dumb AF and neat. But I do agree that Youngkin is hindering economic opportunity and criminal justice reform in Virginia. Yeah, I agree with those things. Yeah. Support for forward-thinking policies around marijuana is at an all-time high in Virginia. Sure. which is why the new Democratic legislative majorities have taken joint action to push the state forward. Is there anything to this statement other than pot puns? Because that'd be fun. Yeah. I mean, this is neat, but also it'd be cool if they, like, you know, encourage Democrats to read the room and not treat marijuana legislation like it's something special and precious. You know, maybe we just need to move the ball forward. Anyhow, hello, David from the sad island of Indiana. Hey, Tree, welcome back. Tom, thanks for sharing that with me. Want to comment? Hey, Revenge in Richmond. Hey, Jeremy. Good to see you. Hey, KB in Canada. The GL on Instagram talking about Border Patrol in New Mexico. Yeah, I mean, they've kind of always been, they've always been empowered to do so. Hey, Brian in Ohio on Instagram. Hey, Something Green on Eastern Shore on Instagram. See you all here. Hello, Denver, also in Indiana. All right. I don't know what we were going to talk about before Tom got me all hopped up on weed puns. Circle back to that. So Bayside is asking if I have any info on Florida. Like, what kind of info on Florida? Like, vote yes on 3? Yes, vote yes on 3. That is the information I have for you. But if you're asking about something else, let me know, Bayside. Hey, David, I'm glad you're asking. David's asking if the 420 donations are doing well and saying good idea. Thank you. I appreciate that, David. They are doing pretty well. And since David brought it up, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that real quick. So I'm going to post a link to this. Listen on Instagram, I'll post it as well. But it's a little harder to navigate to the link on Instagram. So you can just go to NORML.org. It's right there on the front page. But today, because, you know, it's Friday and we don't work on Saturday, sort of. We went ahead and posted this blog, and most of you got this in your email today as well, talking about celebrating our victories on 420 and reminding people that NORML is the only organization advocating solely on behalf of responsible consumers. That's it. That's what we do. We represent your interests by lobbying Congress and state legislatures, by educating the public, by pushing back against the reefer madness rhetoric that's still pervasive in mainstream media, fighting for consumer rights in legal states, and, you know, making the case over and over and over again that a policy of legalization and regulation is far preferable to one of criminalization, incarceration, and discrimination. And if you agree, and I know you do because you're here at 4 o'clock on a Friday, hanging out to talk about cannabis policy, I know that you agree. Maybe consider chipping in like $4.20. Chip in $4.20 for 420. You can do that in the link I just shared, or head to NORML.org. It's right there on the front page. Yes, Valisman on Instagram. Work is never done with legalization. Whether it's pre or post legalization, someone still has to represent the rights of responsible consumers. It's normal. Okay, Bayside, thank you for the clarification. Bayside on Instagram is asking, I know they're planning to vote on adult use in November in Florida, but do we feel it will pass, and what will it mean for the state in our opinion? In our opinion, it's great for the state. First and foremost, it will drastically reduce arrests. that's super important, particularly in Florida, because Florida has one of the harshest penalties for cannabis possession in the nation, despite having decrim in a number of localities and a medical program, which costs way too much money to access. A marijuana felony is really, really easy to get in Florida. I think it's like 20 grams is where the felony threshold is in Florida. So voting yes on 3, number one, dramatically reduces arrests. And there's not been good reporting, shocking, I know. There's not been good, honest reporting of the actual number of arrests by Florida to the FBI, the way most states do report their crime data. Florida's one of those states that's like, we don't feel like it. So it's, a little difficult to see what the real numbers are. But yeah, Florida law defines the possession of more than 20 grams of marijuana as a felony offense, punishable by up to 5 years in prison. So when you ask NORML, is Amendment 3 good? Yes, absolutely it is. Marijuana felony is bad. Yes on 3, good. Number 2, it turns on sales for adult use. Now, look, I know there's someone out there who's super interested in cannabis business licensing, and that's great. There are organizations for that. We're here to represent consumers. We're going to talk about licensing in the business association. Our priority is consumers because there's no industry without consumers. Marijuana is not legalizing itself, and it's not being legalized so that people can make money off of you. It's being legalized so that consumers have safe access to a product that's convenient and affordable and regulated. So turning on sales of existing operators is not new. It's not novel. It's what every state, except for New York and Virginia, have done. Why? Because when it's legal, you want your consumers to transition away from the illicit market to the regulated market. You put consumers first. Consumers, front of the line. Businesses, you go next. So don't tell me about that stuff. But listen, transparent on accounting. What about transparent on accounting? Jeremy, I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, so our opinion, Bayside, is yes on 3. It does a lot of great things. And it does allow the legislature, it does not require the legislature, it does permit the legislature to pass legislation to license additional businesses. Azar on Instagram is asking about Pennsylvania. What's going on with adult use in Pennsylvania? Let's take a look at the map, shall we? If you head to norml.org/act, you can see the pending legislation. And I'm going to take a little peek right here. So we've got SB 846 is in committee in Pennsylvania. We have an action order for that. There's also a decrim bill, which is SB 1028. It's also in committee in Pennsylvania. So head to norml.org/act. Find your state. I agree, Nick. Maybe I don't need to have that comment up anymore. Head to norml.org/act and take action on legislation that's pending in your state. I also wanted to say I did see some polling recently on Florida on Amendment 3, and it's only like 35% of Republicans in support. I think it was 60+% support from Democrats, and then there was a large, I think this polled just Democrats and Republicans, and then there's a large section of voters who were undeclared in Florida. So it will require 60% of the vote because it is a constitutional amendment. The good news is that it's a presidential election, so there will be high voter turnout. That's good for elections. That's good for people who typically vote Democratic, and that's good for cannabis being on the ballot. But what's bad for cannabis being on the ballot is that it's on the ballot in Florida, and you have a lot of insane voters there. I could say this being from the state. You're welcome. I hope that answers your question. Amanda, I'm glad you're joining us. Thank you. I hope I answered all of those questions. William, I'm not aware of any pending litigation in the state of Ohio regarding adult use access, but I can tell you that regulators are planning to begin retail sales sooner than they originally expected. There is a blog about that we shared last week. Since you are watching on YouTube, I will try to post that so it pops up for you on YouTube. What can I tell you about it? Under the plans, existing medical operators would receive dual licensing to sell to adults by mid-June, which is months ahead of schedule. Yeah, so good job, Ohio. Doing so much better than Virginia. Can you sue? I mean, I don't know why you would, because June. It looks like June is when you'll start seeing sales begin. Nick, that's interesting. Nick says Senator Laughlin, that's in Pennsylvania, has a bill to allow medical patients to be able to conceal carry. If you want to talk more about that, email us at policy@normal.org. Samuel, we'll share that with everyone. We'll share your sentiments with everyone. But if you're in Florida or you know people in Florida, make sure you're telling all of them they decide to vote yes on 3. All right, let's talk about some other things. We have a lot of news this week. Should we talk about how state-level legalization has been a stunning success? NORML's Paul Armentano drafted an op-ed about that. And you should read it. You should share it with your friends. The verdict is in, is the TLDR. After a century, it's a long time, century of failed policies and canna bigotry, the verdict is in. Legalization is a success, and the end of cannabis prohibition can't come soon enough. There we go. It wasn't publishing properly before. Now you should be seeing it at least once, if not 50 times. Thanks to everyone who just joined us on Instagram. This is a very good news week. I love it. I love this for 420, the week of 420. I love it. I love all of these nice, great, happy, good times news stories. There was a poll done. I know, Put on your surprise face. There was a poll done, and most Americans endorse legalization and say cannabis is safer than either alcohol or tobacco. I know you were so surprised by that. To hear that is what Americans favor. Oh, I gotta make that shorter for Instagram. Did not like that big long comment. That worked. Oh, nope, still does not. You know what? We're just gonna let's just see. How do okay, finally. Finally Instagram's gonna play nice. There we go. So difficult. It's just good news, and good news. Do any of you work in the cannabis industry? Let me know in the comments, because that's what we're going to talk about next. Just briefly. Because the week of 420, it's good to share the good. It's good to share the good. Nick says, I wish. The state licensed cannabis industry in the U.S. added over 23,000 new jobs in 2023 and now employs over 440,000 full-time workers. Thank you, Benedict. Hey, KB, thanks for letting me know. So that, why is it cutting off half the, sorry for all these broke links. Let's see if I can make it shorter. Let's try this again. It's like a cutoff on YouTube. No. Oh, wait, no, okay, whatever. I'm doing great. Everything's great. You know, I just want to be able to share the news with you. I felt like I was doing great. Being able to share the links on Instagram, it's not working well. There we go. Instagram's so fickle. Hey, Stacy and Alan and Sean and Lex, who just joined us. Southern and Jamie on Instagram. Folly, it's JM. JM, you can see it. It's right there. That's my name. Fred, that's way cool. Fred says he's a mortgage lender and can now finally lend on cannabis income. David, I'm so glad you've asked this question. David asks, why do you think he went for rescheduling it instead of legalizing it? I've been a bit confused as to how that helps to full legality. Well, it's not our recommendation, David. I think we share a lot of the same thoughts. I thought it was interesting that very recently, in a meeting with NORML, Vice President Harris said it's time to legalize marijuana. Okay, so what I think by he, you mean Biden? right? Correct me if I'm wrong, David. Let me know if I missed something. But I think what David is asking is, why did Biden propose rescheduling? He didn't. He asked HHS to conduct a scheduling review. Thank you, David. So the directive was to HHS to do a scheduling review and put forth a recommendation. HHS made the recommendation to reschedule to Schedule 3, which is still absurd. Absurd classification. But more importantly, HHS did recognize that cannabis has medical utility. So that is good. Does Schedule 3 do a lot for consumers? No, not really. Does it do anything to address the conflict between state and federal laws? No, nothing. It does literally nothing. All of the state medical and adult use programs that exist today that are in conflict with federal law because marijuana is Schedule 1 will be just as much in conflict with federal law if it's Schedule 3. It's a step forward. Does it let some people take tax deductions? I hope so. I hope that's going to work out for y'all, bro. But it's not the same as descheduling, which is what NORML prefers strongly. I don't know, Denver. Denver says, I feel like it's a way to appeal to younger voters. Is it, though? Because I think younger voters know how the internet works. And I feel like this appeals to old people. Old people are probably people my age, but like, who thinks marijuana belongs in Schedule 3? Like, why are we getting excited about that? I mean, it does some things. Just excitement should absolutely exist over the recognition that it does not belong in Schedule 1. But the people who are like jumping around, losing their minds over this is like, I mean, it's something, but also one could argue that it allows Congress to procrastinate passing legislation to remove marijuana from the Federal Controlled Substances Act because, well, they just rescheduled it. They don't need to do anything now. That's what has to happen. That can't happen by executive order. President cannot remove marijuana from the Federal Controlled Substances Act. Congress has to pass legislation to do that. So I dislike it because of the potential speed bump it creates. I like it, though, because it is a step forward. Incremental progress is a reality of politics. It's a reality of the legislative process, and it's fine. But it's just also not all it's cracked up to be from the consumer standpoint. Yeah, Benedict was kind of half-baked. Yeah, stock pumping is real. Yeah, and insulin, you're right, progress is slow. It's almost like elections have consequences. And America, if you continue to elect people who are terrible on cannabis policy, you will continue to get terrible cannabis policies. Virginia is experiencing that right now with clown show governor. Florida has this ridiculously expensive medical cannabis program because you have terrible legislators who are crazy on a lot of things, but cannabis policy as well. And they've done nothing to fix the medical program in that regard. Stop electing weirdos to Congress who won't pass a bill to remove marijuana from the Federal Controlled Substances Act and allow states to continue setting their own policies, but without threat of federal interference. Hey, we can help you with that. Good news. It's an election year. It's always an election year. You can check out NORML's Smoke the Vote. It's a great voter guide. It's at vote.norml.org. before you cast your ballot, make sure, hey lady, make sure you know where the candidates stand on cannabis policy before you vote for them. And if you see a candidate and there isn't information for them on our voter guide, and you have you've read their statement somewhere, email us, reach out. There's actually a form on Smoke the Vote where you can just drop it in there. What we want is a link to a quote in the news, not some weird guy's blog, but like the news. Or if they do a live stream or something that someone captured, that will take from some weird guy's blog, as long as it's real and we can point to where the quote comes from. That's what we're looking for, and we can put that in our voter guide. It is 15-yard penalty with loss of a down. Oh, hilarious. I mean, Amanda, I think young people, I'm not young and I know how to use the interwebs just fine. Hey, Orange. Thanks for joining us. We'll see what news didn't we talk about yet. That's from last week. We don't need to do that one again, Diane. Talked about the industry. We didn't talk about this one. Oh, this is not my favorite story because it's not super happy fun time, but it is worth mentioning. So Hawaii Public Radio did a report on how expungement is going in Hawaii because there's a law that provides for expungement of marijuana convictions. And despite, I think it is 12,000 people who are eligible for expungement, despite this being the law, only 60 people, fewer than 60 people, have had their convictions expunged. Let me see if I can make it again. Instagram, why you gotta be so difficult? Just let me have all my letters here. Thank you. Post that for you. There you go. So, yeah, lady, that's right. Dan is right. 12,000 eligible, less than 60, fewer than 60. It is insulting, David. And what would we cap this off with? I have two more for you. These are going to be not surprising to any of you. Of course, I'm going to have to cut this down so much to make it fit. On Instagram. Instagram does not like a lot of words. Welcome to old people using the internets. Fibromyalgia patients frequently use cannabis, and most say it improves their symptoms. That's how many words will fit. That's my guess. That's my guess. That was fun. Yeah, I was right one time. There we go. So yeah, that's the story, friends. We do a lot of coverage of fibromyalgia. There's a lot of study that's done on this topic. This one looked at, it surveyed fibromyalgia patients if they use cannabis. A lot of them do. It was around half of them said that they do. And if I open the story, I could probably read more of it here. Yeah, half of them acknowledge using cannabis following their fibromyalgia diagnosis. 99% of those who did use cannabis reported using it for pain, and then 94% said they use it for stress, anxiety, depression, and insomnia. 82% said that cannabis was helpful for their fibromyalgia-related pain, and most said it was also effective at mitigating other disease symptoms. This is similar to a lot of other studies we've reported on. I don't know, Amanda, I don't know who those people are. Amanda on Instagram asking me about some advocates. I don't know who those people are. But if you want to tell me about it, you can email me. So I want to say no, but also that's at my level. I don't know what they're doing locally. Oh, Sherry, thank you for sharing your statement with us. And Heather, thank you for sharing your statement as well. Appreciate that. Last one, last news for this week is, oh, I'm already bummed out because I have to make it shorter for Instagram. It's so annoying. Look, I'm just going to post the link. I don't care. I'm not even going to post words with it. Look, here you go. Oh, Amanda, I'm just saying your name because I can see it. And I don't know who those people are. And I tried, and maybe they are doing something untoward. I generally will not say the names of organizations that do icky things or people that do icky things. I just don't feel like they deserve that airtime. Oh, I don't know who those people are, though. So it doesn't mean we haven't talked about it at some point before. If you email me and you're like, we talked about this 3 years ago, and I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe I'll go find that email. I'm just saying. They work, which one, Amanda? Where are they organizing? So if you're organizing for NORML and I don't know who you are, like, probably should. Huh. Oh, I posted this thing and I didn't even talk about it. I got so into Amanda's comments. Why are you trolling Metric? Who cares about Metric? Listen, JAMA, the Journal, the American Medical Association, in this instance, specifically JAMA Pediatrics, published some data. So there's some data published in JAMA Pediatrics in which researchers looked at adolescents' use of cannabis, alcohol, and tobacco over a 10-year period. And this 10-year period is when legalization was occurring, 2011 to 2021. They reviewed survey data provided by over 898,000 teens in 47 states. This is not a small sample size. Surprise face back on. Consistent with prior studies, researchers in JAMA Pediatrics reported that legalization was not associated with adolescents' likelihood or frequency of cannabis use. In fact, adult use marijuana laws were associated with modest decreases in teens' use of alcohol and e-cigarettes. Study authors conclude, together, results found no net increases in cannabis or through spillover effects, alcohol or tobacco use among adolescents in response to the rapid rise of recreational cannabis legalization and recreational cannabis retail sales. Results suggest that legalization and greater control over cannabis markets have not facilitated adolescents' entry into substance use. Wow, it's right there in JAMA Pediatrics. But this weekend, you get to, if you read probably like the worst media in the world, get to see all kinds of hand-wringing. And people who make money testing urine for THC metabolites. Oh, legalization is leading to exploding teen use. Sorry, the Journal of American Medical Association disagrees with you, sir. Thank you for explaining, Benedict. Thank you for explaining what's going on. To that, I would only add, is this an issue with state law, local law, or the actual platform? We have problems with all of them here. Not that company, but platforms, it's state laws. All right, we did it. We did all the news. Yay. But I do want to tell you a couple things. Hey, listen, tomorrow is Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for the weekend weed read. You know, you can get NORML news in your inbox every Thursday and every Saturday. It's real easy. Go to norml.org/subscribe. I'm going to drop a link in there. I don't know who it, oh. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Amanda, I know. Yes, that person. Yes, that person I know. Roach Boy. I do not like that name. Please add yourself. Go to norml.org/subscribe and add yourself to our email list. Make sure you check the weekend weed read box so you get that on Saturdays. Nick, please do send that study to Representative Rapp. You can find that on the front page of NORML. Add you to the live. I can't add you to the live, but thanks for joining us. I don't have the capability to add people watching on Instagram to the live. Also, someone calling. Phones are not for calling. You're welcome, Benedict. Yeah, send that. You should definitely send that JAMA paper, Nick. Okay, get the weekend weed read. Do it. Now let's talk about some other things that you can do. Listen, tomorrow's 420, so I hope you're going to celebrate safely and responsibly. And I hope you're going to chip in 420 for 420. I really would like that. It's super easy. Like, let's celebrate the success that we've had together over the past 53 years. Here at 54. That's how time works. 54 tomorrow. 54 years of NORML this year. 54, JM. Keep up. If you like cannabis freedom, and I know you do, chip in 420 for 420. I put the link to the blog. It'll be on the front page. It is on the front page of the website right now. It'll be on the front page again tomorrow with our Happy 420 message. So check it out. Heather, you should see it on Facebook now, right above you. If not, it's on the front page of NORML.org. Just click on the one that says celebrate our success. Thank you, Heather. Thank you. Thank you. Let's talk about some other things that are coming up this weekend. I assume that even though it's 420, that Suncoast NORML will still be doing their show, The Rotation. It streams live on Suncoast NORML's YouTube at 11 a.m. Eastern. You can find Suncoast NORML on Instagram, but I'm also going to drop a link for you there as well. Today, this week, I thought about how I was going to tell this story, and then I didn't. I'm going to tell it now. Okay, so on Wednesday, we were at the National Cannabis Policy Summit, and thanks to those of you who joined in the live stream, we had terrible connectivity there, but thanks to you who joined in the live stream to see NORML founder Keith Stropp honor Representative Earl Blumenauer with the inaugural Earl Blumenauer Trailblazer Award. That was really a great conversation. Those two took a look back over the past 5 decades of fighting for cannabis justice that they've been involved in together. And I'm getting their insulin. And oh God, I knew this guy was going to start cleaning the window in the middle of the live stream and scare me, and you all got to see that happen. So that was on Wednesday. And what I really was surprised by was the number of people who came up to our table at the Policy Summit and said, hey, I love Live with NORML. I always watch it. So if you're watching again, thank you so much. And thanks for coming to tell us that. That was really cool. I get that, like when we're at community events like Pumpkin Festival or whatever, Shamrock the Block or Pride or whatever type events like that, and we'll get people who come up, but they're more local, and so it just seems like a more regular thing. But this was just like a bunch of policy nerds who were just coming up and like, I watch this every Friday. It's so great. I'm like, oh, thank you. You're the best. So thank you. Thank you for doing that. Taylor, any hope for Florida's Amendment 3? Yes, if people vote. So get people to vote. Yes, on 3. Thank you, Taylor, for asking. Thank you, Taylor, for asking. All right, but National Cannabis Policy Summit, you can watch the video on their YouTube. It is there. If you want to hear all the talks, please go check it out at the National Cannabis Festival live stream or whatever YouTube channel. But if you are in DC today, I think it opened like 51 minutes ago. The National Cannabis Festival is this weekend, is today and tomorrow in DC at RFK Stadium. You can get tickets at nationalcannabisfestival.com. You can find the National Cannabis Festival on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Yeah. So get tickets, go do that. Hey, are you in Philly? Cool. I've got something for you to do there as well. Weeding Out the Stoned 420 edition is tomorrow, April 20th at the Helium Comedy Club in Philly. You can find Weeding Out the Stoned on Instagram. For those of you watching on Instagram, I'm also going to drop the info in the comments for you. But be sure to follow Weeding Out the Stoned on Instagram and check them out tomorrow, April 20th at the Helium Comedy Club. The show is really hilarious, and they're amazing supporters of NORML and have been for years. Weeding Out the Stoned is the game show sobriety test. A group of players enter the game. This is a fully improvised comedy show. All of them are high but one, and it's up to the audience to figure out who that person is so everyone can win sweet prizes. It's a riot. Check it out. If you are in Kentucky, thank you, Tree, for reminding me, and keep reminding me so I don't forget to say something about that. If you're in Kentucky, Kentucky NORML's 420 Music Fest will be at White Squirrel Brewery in Bowling Green. Check that out. You can find Kentucky NORML on Instagram, on Facebook, and at kynormal.org is where you can go to get tickets to the music festival. Music Fest, 420 Music Fest. I can't tell if that's an I or an L, but doctors, is it LA, doctors? I don't know what it is because I can't tell if it's an I or an L. But I think it's LA doctors messaging us on or commenting on Instagram. Just send an email to advertise@normal.org. Kentucky NORML's 420 Music Fest is tomorrow at White Squirrel Brewery in Bowling Green. Now, skipping ahead to May, because it's going to be May. California, thank you, Pot. California NORML person, whatever. Okay, California NORML. Their lobby day is May 6th at the Capitol Event Center in Sacramento. You have to register in advance. Please register in advance and go lobby with California NORML on May 6th. If you are in California, thank you for explaining that to me, Louisiana medical marijuana doctors. You can email me at advertise@normal.org if you want to advertise to people in Louisiana, which is what I suspect you do. All right. What else I got for you? Are you an attorney? Do you need continuing legal education credits? We got you. We have legal seminars that are fully accredited in every state that requires CLEs for practicing attorneys. And if you aren't an attorney or you just don't need the CLE credits, guess what? You get a discounted rate. We got you. Hey, Woodyard, welcome. The NORML Aspen Legal Seminar is May 30th through June 1st. It's in Aspen, Colorado. It's at the beautiful Gant Resort. Come hear from national cannabis law and science and policy experts in Aspen and hang out with me and Keith and Paul. It'll be great. You can get tickets. Register now. Register at normal.org/Aspen. And we do have a block of deeply discounted rooms available at the Gant, but those will sell out. If they haven't sold out yet, they will. And the last day to get that reduced rate is April 30th. So register for Aspen, get your room, come see us. It's going to be amazing. Amazing. Mans, listen, first of all, you were correct. I used to do this show in like a normal hoodie. Here on the back of it, I don't remember where it is. I used to do this show in a normal hoodie like all the time. And it's raining today, so I have on a hoodie. And I was like, oh, I brought just like a casual jacket, so I could take this off the show. And I was like, what, whatever, who cares? Also, yes, your eyes do not deceive you. This is my Eras Tour sweatshirt from the Eras Tour. And as I'm sure you know, ma'ams, today is the release day for the Tortured Poets Department. So I thought I'd represent. Your eyes do not deceive you, not at all. I both can wear regular people clothes and have personal interests. Thanks for that reminder. Hey, also, thank you. I'm not even low-key, Insulin. I'm not even low-key. Just here. Thank you, Tree, for reminding me about Cherokee. In the state of North Carolina is the reservation in Cherokee. And they are supposed to open a medical cannabis dispensary in Cherokee tomorrow. It was supposed to be the first day. So I am super excited to hear about that as well. I'm super excited to hear about that as well, Tree. If you hear anything or see anything, let me know. Send me an email. I'm super psyched to hear about that. I hope it goes well. That would be so huge for people in North Carolina if they are able to take a medical cannabis card and go onto Cherokee and get medical cannabis, and then also drive home safely and not get arrested. I don't profess to have any particular expertise in North Carolina code whatsoever, but I can tell you what we recommend in Virginia and have always recommended in Virginia since the beginning of the medical cannabis program launching. People think that they have this sense of entitlement, sort of, whether it's legal or not. They have this like, well, I can drive around with this because it's my medicine or it's my whatever, or it's legal. It's like, make good choices. Look, you can get a locking bag like this. And even if it's a legal purchase, you can put your legal purchase in a bag that locks. This is a combination lock. And you can put it in the trunk of your vehicle, or is not anywhere by the driver, and where no one smells like weed. And then hopefully that provides you a safer level of transport than just throwing the bag in the back seat or in the front seat. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't blame you, Tree. Swallowing ice cubes is fun. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, so come see me in Aspen. And hey, right after Aspen, you know what? You should come see me in New York. We will be at the CWCB Expo. I need the expo dates. The expo is the 5th and the 6th. We will have expo passes available. I will have at least 50 free expo passes available. 50. I'll probably have more than that, but I will have at least 50 expo passes available. So if you want to come to the CWCB Expo in New York at the Jacob Javits Center, May 5th and 6th, stay tuned. I'll be sending those emails. I'll have it on our website. I'm still waiting for them to send me our link for those free passes. But something you'll also want to do is come to the NORML Formal NYC. This is going to be hosted by CWCB Expo for NORML during their B2B Rooftop Bash. It is the opening event for the expo. It is June 4th, so it's that Tuesday. It doesn't matter. June 4th is the day, whatever day of the week that is. NORML formal. Now, that's a separate ticket you have to buy, and it's a benefit, so you should. But please do, you can add that that NORML formal rooftop bash ticket onto your free expo pass that you'll be able to get from me shortly. Happy 420 to you as well, Rose. Yeah, so all good stuff coming up. Stay tuned for more details, not only on the NORML formal in New York City, but also on CWCB Expo and how you can get a free expo pass from me. And then last but not least, I'm so proud of myself for having CWCB Expo actually in my notes this time. Indiana NORML is celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, and that will be July 20th at the Hi-Fi Annex in Indianapolis. So if you're in Indianapolis, if you're in Indiana, and I know a lot of you are, because we have a lot of people who join us live and tell us how terrible Indiana's marijuana laws are, and that they think it'll be the last state. I don't think it'll be the last, but toward the end possibly, because why? What's that, Sherry? Oh, that's right. Elections have consequences. If you're in Indiana, make sure you're registered to go to Indiana NORML's 50th anniversary celebration. Hey, Rachel. Rachel says Indiana cannabis nurse right here. I love that, Rachel. Make sure you have your tickets to Indiana NORML's 50th anniversary celebration in July. Okay, those were all of the super exciting things. Hi. Those are all the super exciting things I had to tell you about for this week. It is officially after 5 o'clock here, so that means I have to go home. Because I don't have to, but I'm going to. Rachel, I'm so glad you'll be there. That's awesome. Okay, friends, this has been a blast as always. Make sure you hit that like, follow, or subscribe button so you never miss when NORML goes live. We try to do this every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you're subscribed to get our newsletters. They come out every Thursday and every Saturday. There's still time to subscribe right now so you get the NORML weekend weed read. It's going to deliver about 9:15 Eastern tomorrow. Just head to norml.org/subscribe. If you're just joining the live and we're about to end, I'm so sorry, but you can replay the thing in its entirety on NORML's Facebook, on NORML's LinkedIn, and on NORML's YouTube. So, hey everyone, thanks for joining us. This has been great. Come back next week so I can answer more of your burning questions live. Have a very safe and responsible 420 tomorrow. And hey, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and I'll see you back here next time. Bye-bye.